Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship Triple One here, and yes, what you are seeing right now is not a trick. This is early gameplay of Forza Horizon 5 on the PlayStation 5. A huge shout out to Playground Games for giving me the opportunity to gain early access so that I can give you, the viewers, as well as my amazing subscribers, what I think about Forza Horizon 5 on the Blue brand, as well as some of the things I had noticed. If you are someone who has pre-ordered either the Premium, Deluxe or Standard Edition of Horizon 5 on the PS5, here are the official times as to when the game will unlock for you in your region. So, when you load up the game for the very first time, one small difference I had noticed immediately compared to the Xbox version was of course the Panic Button logo being shown. Now, Panic Button is a studio which not only ported Horizon 5 over to the PlayStation, but they also helped optimize and enhance Forza Horizon 4 for the current Xbox Series consoles. So they do have quite a lot of experience working with the Forza Horizon series, and I believe it was the right decision to choose Panic Button again for the PS5 port. Alright, so now we are finally at the start screen, but before you can even begin, you must have a Microsoft login account to link with your PlayStation account. If you already have a Microsoft login, I would recommend just using that. If not, just create one. It's completely free. There will be a unique QR code that you can scan on the screen, and the entire process doesn't take very long. For myself, I have linked my PlayStation account with my current Microsoft account that I use on Xbox, which already has its own Forza Horizon 5 save, but because there is no cross save, every time I play as Ericship on the PlayStation, it'll be on its own account with its own progression. The graphics settings I have set is always on performance over quality simply because there's no way I'm racing with only 30 frames per second. Sure, the visual fidelity may not be as sharp, but for me personally, I'd much rather have smoother gameplay over slightly sharper graphics with only half of the frame rates available. I'm also currently playing on the standard PS5 and not the PS5 Pro, so if you want an opinion on how the game performs on the Pro, this is sadly not the video for you, but I will say on the standard PS5, the game looks incredible. If this is your first Forza Horizon game, you will be blown away with how the environments look, the colors, reflections, it's all very impressive. Even for myself, who has played Forza Horizon 5 on the Xbox Series X for years, I still get impressed by the game visually, even while I'm playing on the PlayStation. Now, if you are interested in how the standard PS5 graphically stacks up to the Xbox Series X, here are some quick comparisons. As you can see, both are incredibly similar. If we really want to be pedantic, in certain scenarios, maybe the PS5 looks a little better than the Xbox and vice versa, but no console is at a disadvantage here. And I really doubt any of you guys watching will actually play Horizon 5 on both the PS5 and Xbox simultaneously side by side, just to see which console plays Horizon 5 better. So when it comes to driving in Forza Horizon 5, because this is more of an arcade racer, I often use the chase cam as my main camera view, therefore I primarily use my controller as my preferred input. I'm not saying that this game can't be enjoyed on a wheel, because it can, it's just that whenever I do race with a wheel, I often use cockpit view, and in Horizon 5 when it comes to some of the off-road races, especially the cross-country battles with massive jumps, I can't see my surroundings in first person while I'm airborne. So I have decided controller and chase cam is the best way to play this game, at least for me. Now, coming from the Xbox controller to using the PlayStation controller, there was only one issue that stood out to me, and that was using the left trigger for braking. Why? Well, in Forza Horizon 5, driving without ABS does give you a pretty big advantage. It allows you to attack corners much later because you can stop faster, providing that you don't lock up your wheels. Now, with the Xbox controller, because they don't have the adaptive triggers, it's very easy to apply the proper amount of pressure without the wheels locking up, as the resistance is linear. However, with the PS5 controller, for whatever reason, and this only applies to the trigger that's being mapped to use for braking, there's two resistances. The first is incredibly light and short, but once you go beyond that point, it changes and becomes much heavier, simulating how a brake pedal should be. But what throws me off is that the fact that there's two contrasting resistances, which makes it so much harder to brake without ABS. If I pull up the telemetry here, you can see that the initial non-resistance throw reaches at around 12 to 16%. It's incredibly sensitive as well. As soon as you tap the trigger, it'll already begin applying the brakes. And then anything beyond that is when the trigger resistance changes drastically. I don't know, perhaps I just need to get used to it. One way I did combat this was turn vibrations off, which helped my braking, but he also turned everything else off too, which wasn't ideal, especially if I'm trying to feel the bumps on the road, if I'm losing traction. It just wasn't worth removing all of those sensories just so that I could brake without ABS. So right now, I do have ABS turned on while playing Horizon 5 on the PS5. I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but just something that was different. One big feature that has been a part of the Forza Horizon series for years has been car clubs. Back in the early days like Forza Horizon 2 and Forza Horizon 3, this feature was integrated with the main game itself, where you can create a car club that holds up to 1,000 players, share the same club tag to represent out in multiplayer, earn in-game credits for reaching a certain amount of skill score collectively, and also climb the leaderboard against other car clubs. Now with Forza Horizon 5, that's kind of changed. You can now hold a total of 2,000 members, but the entire feature is integrated with the club feature for the Xbox, which has certainly made things a little complicated, as although players could join the club through Horizon 5, you can make posts about anything. In fact, you can even use the car club without even having to load up Forza Horizon 5. Now, with that said, there are some cool features that come out from this. For example, there is a club leaderboard to compete in. Of course, you represent your club out in multiplayer, and also for any events that include some sort of time trial like a rivals event, you can filter through to see how you individually stack up against your own club members. Now, unfortunately, with Horizon 5 on the PlayStation 5, this feature doesn't exist, as it was first initially designed to utilize a primary Xbox feature. Therefore, any PlayStation 5 users can't create or join a club, nor can they see any other players who are in clubs, whether it's through the leaderboards, out in free roam, or in any multiplayer race. There hasn't been any bugs or glitches that I've encountered yet, which is a good sign. It has also been fun replaying the game from the beginning. It's certainly much more different now than how it was over 3 years ago, in a sense that there's just so much more content now for you guys to explore right from the beginning. All the additional stuff that Playground Games have added throughout the years, like Event Lab 2.0, Horizon Realms, the 2 expansions, the additional Horizon stories, hide and seek. I mean, PlayStation users have it thrown to them all at once, which can be quite overwhelming at first. The game allows players to essentially choose which activities they want to do, and there's no right or wrong way to progress through the game. The only thing that I believe PlayStation users will eventually find frustrating is how they can't obtain certain cars in the game immediately. No, I'm not talking about standard Forza Horizon 5 users not purchasing the car pass or any of the additional car packs that Playground Games has released. I'm talking about the timed exclusive cars that were introduced throughout the life of Horizon 5 in a monthly festival playlist, but have remained hidden even until now. So if you head over to the car collection, you can see exactly how many cars there are to collect. Now, if there's a car you fancy, if it's available in the auto show, it will have a purchase button on the bottom, and if you have enough in-game credits, the car can be yours. However, there will be many cars that you won't be able to purchase using just your in-game credits that you have earned. For example, let's say recently you've been more into Korean cars, and you'd like the Hyundai i30N, but once you click it, you see this message saying that this car may appear as a reward in the season events, festival playlist, Horizon Backstage, or Forzathon shop. So then you go look at the festival playlist, check out the Forzathon shop, or browse through the Horizon Backstage, only to discover that the car is nowhere to be found. So what do? Well, there's really nothing you can do but hope that the car appears in the festival playlist again as a reward, which we already know won't happen for the next month, as I have already covered all of the upcoming rewards for the official festival playlist that PS5 users will experience for the first time in my last video. It could appear in the weekly Forzathon shop, but sadly that won't happen either, as the next monthly playlist will reuse the same shop items as the series first appeared back in Series 7, since Playground Games are recycling festival playlists. So your only real chance is for the i30N to show up here in the Horizon Backstage vote, in hopes that the rest of the community also want this car too, so that it can then finally become a permanent addition to the Horizon Backstage shop. But on top of that, you'll also have to earn a separate Horizon Backstage pass, which can be done by accumulating 40 points through the festival playlist, or by purchasing a Backstage pass from the Forzathon shop for 1,000 Forzathon points, which is another form of in-game currency totally different to the in-game credits. Then you can finally get your hands on the i30N. It's seriously a big problem that I have said for years, which would affect new players wanting to try Horizon 5 late into the game's life, as there's too many different forms of currency to unlock vehicles. It's all very confusing, and now with Horizon 5 launching on the PS5, this issue has now been amplified. If there are any tips I can give you all, once you unlock the festival playlist, the cars that are worth 20 points to collect, like this Lancia Delta S4, are usually vehicles that can't be purchased directly through the auto show using your traditional in-game credits. They are also often tagged as hard to find cars, and you have 7 days before the weekly car rewards expire. Then after that, it's pretty much gone until it reappears again as a reward in a festival playlist, which is highly unlikely, or through the Horizon Backstage shop. Now, some hard to find cars like this Sierra 700R, which is worth 160 points, meaning that you have the entire 4 weeks of the specific festival playlist to unlock this before it expires. Now, this is already in the Horizon Backstage shop permanently, so you do have a choice here. Either you earn 160 points to obtain the Sierra, or simply earn a Horizon Backstage pass for 40 points and exchange it for the Sierra through the Horizon Backstage shop. Now just remember, you can only earn 2 Horizon Backstage passes per week, and also you can only exchange 1 Backstage pass per car, meaning that once you have used the Horizon Backstage for a specific vehicle, that car cannot be unlocked again, even if you were to use another Backstage pass. Most cars that you see in the Horizon Backstage right now are cars that were introduced sometime throughout the life of Horizon 5. It's all very complicated. It's a major design flaw that promotes player retention and FOMO more so than having fun. So I'm just here to give you all PlayStation users just a small heads up before you wonder why some cars are locked in this game. But apart from that, Forza Horizon 5 on the PS5 has been the same Horizon experience that I pretty much expected. There's still plenty of cars that you can drive, explore and customize straight away, but above all else, we just hope that you guys enjoy the game. Anyways, if you guys did find today's video helpful, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button, as it really does help me out. And of course, if you guys would like to stay up to date with everything Forza Horizon related, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.